Hi, I'm Brent Johnson, and today I'm at Zion Lutheran Church in Baltimore, Maryland, and with me is John Heizer, organist and director of music here at Zion Lutheran, and Pat Murphy, organ builder, who built this wonderful instrument here. You may remember Pat, we visited his shop a few years ago, and there's a link to those videos up here in the corner. But we're all here today to look at this wonderful instrument well, John, first of all, how long have you been the organist here?
It's almost 48 years now.
Oh, wow. So what instrument was here when you first arrived?
It was a sort of typical three-manual molar from 1959.
I guess needed replacement after some amount of time?
Yes, it had developed some really serious problems, one of which was a major cipher on Easter Sunday.
Oh, wow. Well, that's always a good way to get people's attention. Well, that led to bringing in Pat Murphy here to turn this molar into a Murphy organ. Tell me about what you found here when you first showed up.
Well, let's see here. Well, Brent, it's good to have you here today, and a pleasure to be here. The molar that we speak of here, well, John, first of all, I'll never forget, John made the first inquiry to me directly not long after 9/11, 2001. So it was that long ago, and the molar was in very bad condition. The leather had pretty much was on its way out, and the swell chamber had developed a pretty severe water leak, which caused, I think, the entire swell division eventually to become unplayable. The organ really had problems in the swell and the choir, and it was a very typical instrument of its period, but it had also been mechanically really difficult to navigate, and John did yeoman work for a long time to work around the problems that the molar had. The church had to go through a series of focusing to embrace the project because it was pretty extensive. And so what we result here is a 43 rank instrument, of which about 2/3 of the pipe work is from the old molar in some fashion, of course revoiced, reconstituted, what have you. But I think it represents a very definitive ethos as to what I believe and our company believes is a good, responsible, pragmatic way to build an organ using materials that are of high quality but can still be worked with. So mechanically it's all new, with the exception of the blower. We did keep the old blower, but all new slider wind chests, completely new layout, new facade, new console, and the grate is predominantly all new pipe work. The choir, swell, and pedal is predominantly heritage pipe work that has been all revoiced and transformed into, we hope to like to think, as a good, cohesive musical instrument to lead congregational singing, perform organ literature, and accompany choirs.
Well, this is a German Lutheran church, one of the oldest in the city. You said you still have German services here, correct? Yes. So music is a very important part of it, and having a versatile organ is certainly an important part of it too. So, well, I can't wait to hear some of it. You have here a Patrick J. Murphy organ. How did you come to pick Patrick Murphy's?
Well, we were looking at several builders, and I was sort of focused on smaller builders, perhaps, rather than a big corporation type of thing. And I think we were just reading and listened to some things and said, well, let's go visit his shop, which we did, and like what we heard with that.
Well, I actually stopped by here about 3 years ago, I think, and was really impressed with how the old molar stuff sounds here mixed with the new things. Unfortunately, COVID got in the way, so we're just now getting around to exploring this organ. So let's hear some of it. Show me around the organ.
Okay, well, these are the old molar flutes on the Swell.
Very bright and chipper. That doesn't sound like a 1959.
Rescale. This is the old Borden. Also rescaled.
Yeah, lovely.
These are the old Zellers, which got rescaled and revoiced.
those are in the choir division.
choir division.
Okay.
And then the Swell strings were also revoiced and rescaled.
So it sounds like lots of rescaling was involved, not just
Yes.
putting the old stuff back in.
Right,
So you
right.
certainly did some reevaluation.
Oh,
to
oh
make them
yes, oh
work.
yes,
All right.
yes, indeed.
So let's listen. Let me hear the great principal chorus and going up through those additions.
Okay.
And that's 8/4 and 2 with a 4-rank mixture. Okay, and then we had added some of the other flutes in there as well.
Right.
I also see you have a string there at 8 foot.
Yes, yes.
Violoncelle,
Yeah.
almost kind of a violin diapason
Right,
sound.
right, yes,
So it gives you an
yeah.
extra principal sound in the group.
Right, and
as well.
it's been very useful in accompanying,
Oh,
especially
okay.
with that, yeah.
You also have a cornet that can go on top of your flutes there, right?
Right, and I think this is the old Moeller stuff again,
Okay.
redone.
Yeah, very nice, very balanced, and still cutting through. So it's very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Show me what else we have in the choirs. I'm looking over there.
The Gibbs horn I like a whole lot.
It sounds like it's got those same sort of accompanimental qualities as
which-
the great string.
Yeah, which I do. The new clarinet.
That's very nice.
The Swell oboe, which is, I think, repurposed from another organ.
Yeah, very colorful.
Swell principal chorus.
It's 8/4 and a 3 and 4 ring mixture.
Right.
Yeah,
mhm,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's very bright, but you can close all of that down and
Yeah, yeah.
certainly make it a much.
And then the choir division for its little chorus.
Yeah. And the 4 foot over in the choir, that's a Geigen octave. Is that correct? That's what I'm saying. Can I hear just that by itself?
Yes.
Yeah, that's bright, but it's not super loud. So it's a
Right,
nice
right.
little chorus over there. Very nice. So you've kind of got a principal chorus on every manual, but also lots of flutes and colors
Right, right.
to go with. All right. Tell me about some of the other reeds we have in here.
Okay, the great reeds are all new, and they're enclosed in the choir box.
Okay.
Actually, so it lends itself well for that.
Yeah, that's a wide berth of sound there you've got there, so you can close those reeds down.
Right.
I like that.
Swell reeds.
Were those new or are those reused reeds?
The trumpet is new. I think this is reused.
Okay.
It's the old country trumpet,
Oh, all right.
16-foot resonator.
It sounds like a little smaller scale Moeller style reed, but it works really well.
Right, right.
And
And then, of course, we have the tuba,
okay.
which is a Kimball stop, I believe. Pat can tell you more about that.
a big tube of sound. I really like that.
Under expression too.
Okay, good. Yeah, in the choir box.
Yeah.
So wonderful. And then that's available in other manuals as well.
Right,
so
on the grade.
It's solo good.
Yeah.
And tell me what we've got in the pedal.
Old Country Basie, which was reused from the mower. New principles. And the old Borton. Trombone, which is actually an extension of the tuba. If you're ready for it.
Very effective in here in the room.
Yeah. I might show you, the harmonic flute plays in the pedal.
Now, the harmonic flute's in the grate.
It's in the grate.
We didn't really hear that by itself. I want to hear that
Okay.
first in the grate. I'm guessing that's a new edition.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, brand new.
It's very lovely.
Yes. And I have that in the pedal because I like it as a solo stop.
Yeah, it's got enough edge to soar out over the rest of the organ.
Works well with
Wonderful.
that.
Well, all again, just wonderful sounds throughout. It's all
Right.
been rescaled and rethought
Right.
very well.
Yeah, and it does a very nice build-up from soft to loud. It works very easily too with that.
And of course, you've got one of those wonderful drawers underneath the keyboard that are so convenient. I really like those.
Yeah.
I can tell you're very proud of this organ. And
Yes,
enjoy playing
very,
it.
very pleased with it. It works very well for lots of literature, and especially for service playing and for accompanying the choir. It really works very, very well for all that. Very pleased with it.
So a brief word about the facade. We originally had talked about a freestanding instrument on against the wall, but in the end we decided on using the existing chambers, which were built in the 50s and housed the molar. They were simply lattice work, which we removed, and my firm constructed both of these facades in our shop. As I said, casework we built, and it comprises of the pedal violon 16 on both sides, some of the pedal 8. On this side is the pedal 8-foot principal, and on this side is the great 8-foot principal. There are a few non-speaking facade pipes, but the majority of them do play. Right now we're inside the choir chamber. These are all slider chests. Everything that you see here was built in my shop by my firm. Most of the pipework in this division is of the molar that was here before, with a few interesting exceptions. The choir mixture is new, and the clarinet is a new rank using old motors from electro-pneumatic, but works well as a choir clarinet, as you have heard. One of the true highlights of this instrument, however, though, is the rank in the very back. It's a Kimball from the 30s. I don't have an exact year off the top of my head, but it was a high-pressure tromba that plays at 16 and 8, and it is presently speaking on 13 inches of wind, and certainly provides the gravis of the instrument. The 16-foot and 8-foot is under expression, which I find very useful in a room like this. So, we'll walk through this door and walk into the great chamber. Here we are inside the grate. This chest, in fact, is the pedal upperwork. This is the pedal violon 16 and part of the great octave, pedal violon 16 and the great 8-foot principal is in the facade. These Haskell or canister pipes would be the bottom octave, lowest notes of the violon, which do not fit in the facade, so they're back here. In front of us is the harmonic flute. This is the great Borden and the 4-foot principal. Over here on this chest, this is a slider chest, and this has predominantly the majority of the 8-foot principal, the rest of the principal chorus, the chimney flute for cornet and mixture are all in this nice tidy installation onto the wind chest. The molar cornet was revoiced, and that was retained. That is about the only old stop on the grate, and I should say the Borden also was retained. Everything else on the grate is new, and certainly gives us a good opportunity to make a modern sound that is warm, inviting, and useful for not only for Germanic, but a romantic repertoire as well. Looking through the rest of the instrument, the facade is fired through this long wind chest and wind conveyances, and provides for good prompt attack. We use shrimmers and regulators throughout this instrument. The majority of the instrument is on 4 inches of wind. So here we are in the Swell, and again, we have in this enclosed division new slider chest, and we have a new unit chest for the flute, which is Moeller, the oboe, which is a heritage pipe, and the new trumpet. The mixture is on the slider chest, that's new, but the vast majority of the rest of the Swell is heritage pipe work from the existing Moeller and a few other things that we have in our wine cellar that through revoicing and careful artistic adjustment gets us a nice cohesive result. In front of the expression shade is the rest of the pedal, also on the unit chest, and around the corner we'll see the 16-foot contrabass in a minute. Behind us in the corner are the offsets for the 16-foot bassoon and the lead cadet. Again, these are Blackington style slider chests. Blackington style slider chests was devised by Lyle Blackington in California. They utilize a parallel drop pallet. They're not hinged, not a hinged pallet, it's a parallel drop pallet that's essentially a pneumatic pallet. The reason we use that, it's a very fast action. It also allows for a copious amount of air into the note channel to give us the, all right, here we go. So, just like the other side, this is the pedal. We use, again, these are unit chests. We use a butcher block standard for our toe boards. That gives a good dimensional stability in the construction of the chest. And these are, everything here, as I say, again, was made in our shop by my staff and of craftsmen. The casework was also built by us. It's one of the few situations that we retain the Moeller expression shades. We normally build our own shades, but these shades were in nice condition and we decided to keep them. The facades, again, are fired by wind conveyances. Everything's labeled, and when all the finishing is done, we always put a little dot to indicate where the wind gauge should be, because sometimes you get an emergency call for the note that isn't playing. You only find out that the conveyance, the wind gate had been inadvertently bumped and knocked off, so you put it back where it was, and miraculously the note plays. So if all the dots are lined up, you know, if you find one that's not lined up, you know there's a problem there. And then over here in the corner is the 16-foot contrabass, which was been refinished, and that's left over also from the Moeller. And we're perfectly happy to keep the contrabass. And over here is the pedal board, and also from the Moeller.
thank you so much for the tour of the chambers. Tell me a little bit about the console here.
Well, this is our signature 3-manual draw-knob console. We call this a low-profile console. I use this design primarily because oftentimes the organist will also be the choir master, and so while I appreciate very tall English consoles, they're not always practical and pragmatic for typical American churches. So it's low enough to be viewed over the top, but still ergonomically laid out so that you can get to everything conveniently. This console is movable, but it is very versatile, and we have this in 2-manual, 3-manual, and 4-manual designs.
Well, it's been wonderful to see this organ, John. Again, I can tell you're very proud of this instrument and enjoy playing it, and so thank you for demonstrating it. Thank you, Pat, for the tour. Our thanks to Paul Binko for playing and demonstrating that for us today. You are a member of APOBA, the Associated Pipe Organ Builders of America, correct?
That is correct. My firm is a member of APOBA.
APOBA is an organization of member pipe organ builders who uphold stringent standards in pipe organ building, and they are a sponsor of the Organ Media Foundation. So we're happy to bring this organ to you today and to help support APOBA. We feel like their mission of educating the public overlaps with ours, so we're happy to show off APOBA organs whenever we can. We still have another organ for Baltimore, so make sure you're subscribed to our channel and click on the bell for notifications. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Until that's out, you can always find streaming classical organ music on our 3 stations, organlive.com, Positively Baroque, and The Organ Experience. Thank you again, both of you, for showing off this organ. So glad to be in Baltimore. Until next time, I'm Brent Johnson. Thanks for watching.